The Whispering Manor. The old, decrepit house on Blackwood Lane had been abandoned for decades. The townsfolk called it Whispering Manor, for whenever the wind passed through its cracked windows, it sounded like whispers carried through the air. It stood crooked against the moonlit sky, its shutters hanging like broken limbs, and its garden choked by wild, unkempt ivy. Elliot and his friends, Kara, Sam, and Lily, had heard the stories about the house. Whispers of cursed families, ghostly apparitions, and strange, flickering lights seen from its attic window. It was the night of Halloween when Elliot dared to venture inside. His friends, hesitant but curious, followed closely behind. As they pushed open the heavy oak door, a loud creak echoed through the air, startling a flock of crows perched on the roof. The foyer was dimly lit by the pale moonlight streaming through broken panes. Dust coated every surface, and cobwebs hung like spectral curtains. The air smelled of mildew and something faintly metallic. "Creepy," Kara whispered, clutching a flashlight. "Just old and abandoned," Sam said, though his voice wavered. They moved cautiously, their footsteps echoing on the warped wooden floors. An old grandfather clock stood in the corner, its hands frozen at 3:33. The faint sound of dripping water came from somewhere deep in the house. "I don't like this," Lily muttered, her voice barely audible. "Relax," Elliot said, feigning confidence. "It's just an empty house." But as they ascended the staircase, an icy chill wrapped around them. The temperature dropped abruptly, and their breath turned to mist. Kara's flashlight flickered and then went out, plunging them into near darkness. "Great," she muttered, smacking the flashlight against her palm. A faint whisper broke the silence. "Did you hear that?" Lily froze mid-step. "Hear what?" Elliot asked, his voice tense. "It sounded like someone saying my name," Lily whispered, her face pale. "Stop freaking out," Sam said, though his eyes darted around nervously. They reached the second floor, where the hallway stretched endlessly. Each door was slightly ajar, as though someone, or something, had been waiting for them. "Let's check the attic," Elliot suggested, pointing to a narrow staircase at the end of the hall. "Are you insane?" Kara hissed, but Elliot was already moving. The others had little choice but to follow. The attic door groaned as they pushed it open. The air inside was suffocating, thick with the stench of decay. A single flickering bulb hung from the ceiling, casting eerie shadows on the walls. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, its surface covered in a layer of grime. Kara stepped closer, wiping away the dust with her sleeve. The reflection in the mirror was not their own. Instead, they saw a family of 4, 2 parents, a little boy, and a girl, staring back at them. Their faces were pale, their eyes sunken and lifeless. "What the—" Sam began, but his words were cut off as the bulb above them exploded, plunging the attic into darkness. The whispers grew louder, surrounding them, overlapping in a cacophony of voices. "Get out!" the voices hissed in unison. Panicking, they scrambled for the door, but it slammed shut before they could reach it. The mirror began to glow, and the figures within it moved. The little girl raised a hand, pointing directly at Lily. "You shouldn't have come," the girl said, her voice echoing like a distorted melody. Lily screamed as something icy brushed against her neck. The others banged on the attic door, shouting for help, but no one came. In a desperate attempt, Elliot grabbed a wooden plank and smashed it against the mirror. The glass shattered, and the room was flooded with blinding light. When the light faded, they found themselves standing outside the house, gasping for air. The house was silent now, its windows dark and lifeless. What just happened?" Sam stammered. "I don't know," Elliot said, his voice trembling. "But we're never going back." As they stumbled away from the house, none of them noticed the faint glow returning to the attic window. Inside, the shattered pieces of the mirror began to reassemble, the ghostly family waiting patiently for their next visitors.